Today, we're going to navigate a deeply personal, really profound internal journey. We're talking about the path from absolute emotional burnout to genuine self-discovery. We are going to unpack the vital necessity of prioritizing your mental health over toxic interpersonal connections, and we'll look at how true strength is actually often found in the absolute hardest decisions we have to make. Okay, let's just dive right into this.
I want you to ask yourself a very real, very important question right now. Are you emotionally exhausted? Honestly, a lot of incredibly good people feel completely drained these days. And the truth is, it's not because life itself is just actively out to get them. It's usually because they've stayed entirely too long in places where their mental health is constantly under pressure. Basically, they're draining their own energy by staying rooted in environments that simply do not serve them anymore.
Section 1. The cost of loving and the trap of endurance. Look, there comes a time in life where staying connected to certain people actually starts to cost you your peace of mind. And here is the truly agonizing part about all of this. Sometimes the people draining your peace are the exact same individuals you love the absolute most.
It usually kicks off with this totally devastating cycle. First, you just keep trying harder. Then you're endlessly explaining yourself, trying to be understood, and eventually you just keep forgiving things that actually continue to break you inside. You have to know, you don't do this because you're weak. Not at all. You do this because you love that person so deeply you feel like you literally can't let them go. You're out here sacrificing your own mental health just to avoid disappointing them.
But think about the harsh reality of that sacrifice for a second. You have the physical act of sleeping right beside someone, but that's contrasted with the incredibly painful reality of feeling completely, utterly abandoned. It's a stark contrast. I mean, there are situations where your physical presence is just sort of tolerated, but your heart is completely neglected. It's this profound, heavy loneliness that happens right next to the very person you love. Moving to Section 2, Potential versus Reality. The psychological disconnect. This right here is the exact psychological trap where so many of us completely lose ourselves. We hold on to what could be instead of facing what actually is. It is so incredibly dangerous to fall in love with who you think a person could be, while entirely ignoring who they constantly, repeatedly show you they are. You can't just ignore repeated behavior just because you're emotionally attached to the idea of them. If someone is constantly disrupting your peace, dismissing your feelings, and just zapping your energy, you have got to stop calling that love. Real love doesn't drain you dry like that.
So the crucial boundary we need to set is this. Yes, absolutely, relationships require patience, people are messy and imperfect, but there is a massive fundamental difference between working through normal relationship problems and continuously tolerating emotional destruction. You simply cannot build a peaceful relationship while you're chained to someone who constantly creates chaos around you. At that point, it's a source of internal destruction, not mutual growth.
Section 3. The oxygen of peace and the visceral symptoms of loss. Your peace of mind is so incredibly important. Actually, it's the literal oxygen of any relationship you're in. It is quite literally what keeps you emotionally alive.
So, what happens when that vital air just disappears? Well, first, your peace is totally gone, and suddenly everything around you feels like a problem. Over time, living in that pain changes you. You start to doubt yourself, you doubt your own worth, and tragically, you eventually start shrinking your own identity. You make yourself smaller and smaller just to maintain a connection that, let's be honest, was never good enough for you in the first place.
And you know what? This internal emotional starvation, it has very real, visible outward symptoms. Your smile literally changes. Your entire vibe and energy shifts. Even the things you used to genuinely enjoy begin to feel completely empty. If you are experiencing these symptoms right now, listen to me. Your mind is screaming at you that your environment is toxic to your well-being.
Section 4. The internal battle. Mind versus heart. Now this is easily the most agonizing part of the entire journey. It's that intense, tearing dissonance between a heart that still fiercely loves someone and a mind that finally, painfully realizes the terrible damage it will cost you if you stay.
Think about this. The hardest goodbye is usually the one you absolutely know is necessary for you to say, just for the sake of your own mental health. This battle is so tough because, of course, you remember the good times. You remember the promises, those late-night conversations that once made you feel so incredibly happy and seen. Making the decision to walk away despite all those beautiful memories, it's heartbreakingly hard.
But eventually, you reach a breaking point. You realize that love alone, just the feeling of love, cannot sustain a relationship if there isn't respect and emotional safety. Past memories are simply no longer enough to justify continuous, present-day suffering. You just can't keep pouring love into people who only show up for you when it's convenient for them, while leaving you emotionally starving on the sidelines.
You know, sometimes breakups are actually just protection disguised as heartbreak. I know it feels like a massive failure in the moment. It feels like your whole world is completely ending. But honestly, some relationships only exist to teach you what true love should never, ever look like. They exist to wake you up. That heartbreak is actually a necessary shield protecting you from even more profound emotional damage down the road.
All right, Section 5. Choosing your mental health, the ultimate act of self-preservation. This is where we empower ourselves to make the most powerful decision possible, choosing yourself without a single ounce of hesitation. Protecting your own well-being isn't an act of malice, it is a fundamental, non-negotiable requirement for your life.
We really need to redefine a word we throw around all the time: strength. Strength isn't always about endlessly fighting to keep a dying, toxic relationship on life support. True strength, it's walking away from environments that are slowly destroying your happiness. It takes immense bravery to walk away with your dignity intact, not out of revenge, not out of bitterness, but strictly for your own genuine healing and self-respect.
So many people are absolutely terrified of being alone, so they end up staying in situations that actually make them feel even lonelier. But really think about it. Being alone versus losing your entire sense of self trying to hold on to someone who is perfectly comfortable losing you. Being alone is definitely not the worst thing in life. Sacrificing your true identity for someone who won't even protect your heart, now that is far, far worse.
So what does a genuinely healthy connection actually look like? Well, people who truly love you will not constantly disturb your peace just to stroke their own ego. They will never make you beg for basic human respect, and they certainly won't repeatedly hurt you and then just expect you to stick around. You deserve relationships where communication thrives, where respect is a two-way street, and where your presence is deeply, deeply valued.
True love feels safe. It really is just that simple. A person who truly values you will never, ever feel comfortable watching you suffer emotionally. Remember this, not everyone deserves unlimited VIP access to your emotions.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a challenge, something to really chew on. What are you willing to tolerate moving forward? Because the longer you ignore emotional pain, the more silent damage it creates inside you. Real, lasting healing begins the exact moment you stop forcing connections that can no longer feed your soul. So, from this day forward, I want you to make a choice. Protect your heart, protect your peace, and above all else, protect your mind. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care of yourselves.